This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Audible. Coming up, is it one of the best party games ever? Well, grab some friends, because it's time to play Wits and Wagers.
It's time once again for board games. We've talked a lot about strategic board games on this show before, about competitive board games, but we have not discussed too many party games. Games that can service a large group of people you can bring out at a party. Good examples are like Pictionary, Scattergories, yeah, or Trivial Pursuit. Of course, Trivial Pursuit is the perennial trivia game, but we've got a different kind of trivia game. If you think Trivial Pursuit is kind of boring, have we got a game for you? This game is called Wits and Wagers. It was designed by Dominic Krabischetz and put out by Northstar Games. It was released in 2005 and proceeded to win a ton of awards. And here's why. The game is extremely accessible. If you think that trivia games are all about who knows the most information, well, Wits and Wagers turns that on its head and makes knowing the information secondary to being savvy with how you deal with the information. So basically,
it's like a good guessing game.
Exactly. It basically has a whole bunch of questions that have numeric answers and are likely the kind of questions that you're going to have no idea. Like, how many stairs are in the Empire State Building? Right? A number that very few people are going to know.
The first question we were ever asked in playing this game ever.
And it's stuck.
Yeah, me too.
And then everybody writes down on their little mini whiteboard that comes with the game. You or your team writes down an answer that you're happy with, and everybody has a minute to do that. And then you reveal your answers, and then those answers get put onto a felt wagering board that you might find in Vegas.
Yeah.
And you have different odds based on how far from the median answer your answer lies, and then everybody has chips and they can bet up to 2 times on 2 of the answers. So then when the answer is finally revealed, whoever was closest without going over is the winning one, even if it wasn't right.
Yeah,
just had to be close
like
without going over.
the beginning of Price is Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a lot like all of Price is Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you accumulate more chips, and your team is able to wager in more different ways as you go along, and put more money out. And you have 7 questions, and that's it.
Hence the Wits and Wagers.
According to the USDA Farm Service in 2007, how many slices of pizza does the average American child eat in a year?
Wow.
Wow, we have the full range.
I'm a low baller right there.
No, don't ask
How many
Siri.
slices
Don't ask
of
Siri.
pizza do children
Siri
in
is against the
America
rules
eat
in this one.
2007?
Stop. We were wagering now. All right, the answer is 46.
46?
We were at 400 and 700.
I was assuming that the
Man, I was gonna say first.
the heavier set
the epidemic
kids,
in this country.
I figure if you had 3
2
slices
slices
every
a
time
day.
you eat it,
yeah, or 7,
right? And then that times like
I would think 46 would be in a sitting.
no doubt, right?
Well,
Oh,
you
that's
think you have to think
hilarious.
on
I mean, I guess it's
average,
also children.
Also,
oh, it's
not
average. Not every kid
not every
eats.
kid eats pizza.
Yeah, but
Let's
some
think
kids
about
eat a
food.
freaking pie every single time they sit down, and they do it every day.
How old was Anne Frank when she died?
I feel like someone is gonna know this.
It's every age except 14. For some reason, 14 it can't be 14.
It's 14.
She could not have been 14.
Answer is, survey says
15.
Yes!
I put 2 down on that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I knew that she had to know for sure.
There are 194 countries in the world.
That's gonna be nice.
How many have more employed women than employed men?
What was it, 190?
There are 194 countries in the world. How many have more employed women than employed men?
I'm
asking the Surrey that's in my head.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought I was going to be a low ball man.
Oh!
What?
The countries are Burundi, Cambodia, Mozambique, and Rwanda.
Of course.
Everybody losing!
Oh God, why is Africa so progressive?
You know what, guys? If you're worried about why you lost your money, women.
Yeah.
They did it, they did it again, am I right?
Right, this one right here.
Over the fire.
So a little bit of wit, a little bit of wagers. Yep. Alex, tell me about your experience playing this game. We've played it a bunch of times.
Yeah. And I think this game really shines when you get to the point of having partners, when you get to the point of having teams. You can play it with few, I think it's like 3 to above. It sort of doesn't have a top limit. We tried to play it with 3 of us, and I think though it is still fun, less fun than in the party setting.
Hard to play a party game if you don't have a party.
Yeah, and in the party setting, it really shines. It becomes so much fun on so many different levels. There's a lot of phases of fun in this game. The first phase of fun is the question, and what does that even mean, and how could I ever know that number? And then communicating with your team, trying to figure out what that number is, the massive SWAC guess that you take. And then the phase of fun of seeing everybody else's answers and seeing how either way far off you are, however way far off that one other team is. The best situation is when everybody's kind of in the same thing, and then there's that one crazy outlier.
Yeah.
And then you get into the next phase of fun, which is the sort of betting, which is, okay, we're clearly not right because of all of what everybody else said. Where do we think the person who might be closest to right is?
Yes.
Is fun.
But
And then,
sometimes you may end up being right.
well,
and
then
you doubted yourself.
discovering how wrong everybody in the room is the sort of last phase of fun. And it just the other thing is it's quick. It's so quick, and that's really where I think this game shines, because you can play a couple different rounds, but also like a lot of party games, it's so hard to get the momentum of the group into it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, do I want to spend the next 2 hours doing this? I'm at a party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas with this, it's like, hey, we can spend the next 20 minutes doing this and then go do some other things
Or
and
you
then
could
come
play
back.
it forever and ever and ever. You can keep going.
Yeah, and a lot of times what ends up happening is you play a round, you go off, and everybody hangs out and laughs and scratches, and then comes back, plays another round. It's great. It's a great. It's
Laughing and scratching.
We love scratching and or laughing.
I love laughing and scratching.
We played this at your bachelor party.
We did.
Of all places.
And many, yes.
And many other times. Literally, it's...
We've always played. It's the go-to game.
It's the go-to game.
Yeah. Alex, you nailed it with your phases of fun summation, because that is what is so great about this game. I love, it's not just guessing. I love that you get to take educated guesses. There's some. It's fun to put. It's fun to put some detective work in it. Some there's 7,000 stairs in Empire State Building. Well, the thing that I know in our partnership is I know the Empire State Building was built in what I mean?
Don't.
And my partner knows, I know is, but we know that they did. So you try and hone in as best you can, even though it's usually impossible. But then from there, when you put cards down, you know that if you're having a party with friends, people that you know, it's like we have a friend that's a librarian. So whenever there's a question about authors or books, I'm like, well, she must know, so I'm gonna bet on her. That's all really fun detective work.
That's the genius of taking
wager part.
Of taking the Trivial Pursuit kind of mode, where if you're a specialist in one area, you have an advantage.
Right.
And being able to leverage that, I can leverage my friend whom I know has an advantage.
Right.
And go, I get to bet on him. So he doesn't actually have that advantage.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Totally. And all the phases that Alex described, I totally agree with, and I want to add a couple phases of fun, which is everyone.
Chips and salsa?
Everyone really does love learning. There's something very gratifying about coming to understand something you didn't know. So there's always a level of gratification once we find the answer, like, oh, that's how it, Yeah. And then there's the whole other phase of fun, which is the gambling, which is the.
Everybody loves gambling.
Do we put it all on? You have choice. You have 2 layers of chits to put down, right? So do I put it all on this and some on that? do I
Yeah.
play it safely? Do we just hold on to our things? And it's got that Jeopardy last question vibe where it's like, all that sense of danger, of surprise, it's
strategy.
It's the reason in strategy. It's the reason why we play games. It's the reason why you go to the movie. It's
Endorphins in
it's
your
why
brain.
we do it. It's got all those things. A lot of games. There's usually one facet that's interesting, and there's a couple other phases that aren't as fun. This one operates on all cylinders.
Yeah.
So great.
I agree. I think it's the best party game ever made, and the reason for that, first and foremost, is even compared to other games that I know are excellent, and I know
Pin the talent donkey per se.
well, even just
Whack the pinata.
some of my favorite
pinata.
board games at all.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, it'll be difficult to convince people who aren't used to playing tabletop games to give it a chance.
Right.
This game,
Yeah.
It's a very
You
low
can-
barrier to entry. Yeah.
you can get people to play it, and as soon as they understand it, and it takes very little to understand it, they love it. I have not met a single person, even the most cynical, I don't like
Anti-board
board
game
games.
peoples, yeah.
They love this game, and it's instantly fun, and it just gets better the more people you throw into the mix. Yes, it only has what 6 or 7 actual
it's 6,
slots that you can fill, but a team of 3, a team of 5, all could be having fun, and you could. It really ramps up, scales up in a brilliant way. It is the questions are really well designed. They do a great job of giving you stuff that. I should know this. I should know something about this.
Yeah.
I have a sense of what this is, but I don't actually know. I don't think we've ever encountered, having played this game dozens of times now.
Anything
I don't
that
think
you
we've-
were like, I don't even know what they're talking about.
And the other way either, I don't think we've ever encountered anything of like, oh, Alex knows this.
Yeah.
There were
Nailed
like
it,
one question, and I think it was
No, it
actually
wasn't
about an
you.
author. Oh, it wasn't me. No, definitely not. But I think it was like when was Coke invented or something like that, and somebody actually knew. But because their cousin invented Coke or some crap. Remember?
Oh, we were hanging out with Bill Koch.
No, like that guy was like, well, actually, it's like my second cousin once removed uncle was the guy who invented Coke, so it's like we've talked about it in my family.
I don't remember that.
I don't either.
Yeah, it was over I think it was John's birthday. But anyway.
It's just a phenomenally well-designed game. You can get more
And-
questions for it.
They've had some milestones, which we now get to celebrate with you.
Yeah, separate from our opinion about it, which is awesome. A lot of people really dig this game. It is hitting its gold milestone this month, which means 500,000 copies, I think.
Yep.
And
I said that like I knew.
You don't. Neither do I.
Well, I think
you're
your thing is platinum's 1 million.
Yeah.
So
I think that's right.
Well,
probably
whatever.
right.
Anyway,
A lot of
people have bought these, and if you're excited about this, they are excited about us talking about it. So they're giving away, and they're excited about this milestone. Really, that's the big deal. We just happen to be on the periphery.
Yeah.
And we went,
We'll take it.
we'll tell people about it. They're giving away copies of Wits and Wagers. They're giving away a bunch of them. So if you comment on our YouTube video for this episode,
Which is youtube.com/Totally Rad Show, right?
Yes.
We'll get you to it.
Get you
to our channel, and then this episode.
Like it, or what do they do on the thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
thumbs up.
And but leave a comment and put in there or hashtag or whatever.
yeah, pound
WWC.
WWC, so we know that you're entering
Wits
the
and
contest.
Wagers challenge.
Yeah, we'd love to see a witty comment because it's Wits and Wagers.
Yep.
And
Or
then
wager your chances of winning.
the Northstar Games people are gonna
chips.
look in there, and they're gonna find people with witty comments on this video, and they're gonna give away through the entire month of November. They're gonna give away copies of Wits and Wagers, so you can get a free copy and try this out for yourself, which is really awesome of them to do. So
Yeah.
we'll mention that a couple more times, but you
Go
really
girl.
should be
Home
playing
run
this
game.
game. It is a home run game.
Yeah, home run game.
If you even kind of want to play board games, great gateway.
And it's great to have something in the closet for
Yeah,
when
7,
when
8,
the night
10
ends,
people
you
come,
know,
and you're like, yeah, let's play
calls
Wits
for
and
it.
Wagers.
It's perfect. With the holidays coming up, like this is something you can
Yes.
play with, 8 to
Thanksgiving.
80.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the age range. Everybody will have fun with this game.
Well, a 2-year-old would be really annoying.
I said 8 to 80,
I know.
Dan. 8.
7 though.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around. We're going to be answering one of your Twitter questions right after this. But first, we want to thank our sponsor, Jeff Cannata.
Oh my gosh, I love it when Audible.com sponsors the show because I get to talk about books. I love reading. I love reading books. It's an entertainment unlike anything else, but often I don't have enough time to sit down and open my Kindle or open a good old-fashioned book. I need in my life, unfortunately, to multitask because I got a lot of stuff that I need to get done. Audible.com is the perfect solution. They are the leading provider of downloadable digital audiobooks and spoken word entertainment. That means you can digest books by having it read to you in your ears. It's awesome. Audible has over 100,000 titles to choose from.
Wow.
That's a lot of books, people.
A lot of books.
And they're from
library.
across every conceivable genre. You can get fiction, nonfiction, you can get sci-fi, fantasy, all kinds of really cool stuff. They work with any MP3 player, so it makes it really simple. And you can get a free audiobook download of your choice if you sign up today by going to audiblepodcast.com/totallyrad. That's audiblepodcast.com/totallyrad. You can get a free audiobook. A lot of people have been recommending to me Ready Player One, and I keep replying to them.
We've been recommending to you.
Hello! I keep telling you, I've been listening to the audiobook. It's awesome.
You break me?
Will Wheaton
break me?
is the reader. It's really fun. It's chock full of 80s pop culture references. It's basically, the story is basically Willy Wonka for video games.
Yeah.
It's like...
Although the other thing is a lot of people I've been seeing have been able to get the new Steve Jobs biography as their free audiobook when signing up for us. We've gotten some Twitters about that.
That's
so if
a
you've
great
been
one
interested
as
in
well.
that Steve Jobs biography, free version to listen to in your ear holes.
audiblepodcast.com/totallyrad. You can get it for free and check out all that fun stuff. Do it. Wait, why aren't you doing it?
He's doing it.
You're not going to want to miss tomorrow's episode for our review of Skyrim.
This Twitter question comes to us from @KeithKRebs. If you guys were in charge of making a next-gen console, what would you do with it? Good question @KeithKRebs. Jeffrey?
Wow. Tough. You know, of course, I'm in favor of trying to make the Ferrari of video game consoles. I would want to chock it full of chock goodness. There's a lot of chalk.
Yep.
No chalk, actual, but lots of RAM, lots of, just processing power, boom, boom, boom. I don't think I would do motion control as a standard thing. I feel like next generation, it's going to be interesting to see if it's like, Kinect is the standard feature, et cetera, et cetera.
Well,
it
it
will
might
be.
have come with it, but it's not going to be.
I think it's going to be.
They can't. Well,
I think they will. But
it can be in there, but just not like you can't have Gears of War 3 no controller.
I'm not saying no control. I just think it's going to be standard. I don't think I would do that. I would just really want to make it compete with, be better than the highest end PC right now. And make online a core concept, as it probably will.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of what they did with the original Xbox was we're gonna make this equivalent to a computer, which is why it was gigantic.
Yeah.
But that kind of started that trend. Interesting.
I just don't know what else to do at
Pure
this
power.
point to separate yourself other than pure power.
And Trachtenberg.
Yeah, better graphics. I would put in my next-gen console.
Well,
I would put better graphics.
That's pretty much the easiest answer, right? I mean, that's what we usually get.
Easiest?
No, but
He would do it.
I would do better graphics.
That's it?
Mine
Is
would
there
be
anything
mine
else?
would be best.
I mean, that's
graphics.
kind of what I said.
No, mine would be
pretty much what I said.
Mine would be the best.
I
though.
said Ferrari.
What I would do with my next-gen
He's
console
making
is I would make the graphics
Veyron.
better than Jeff's console.
Damn it!
Oh, amazing.
Console wars starting.
I'm gonna go Nintendo and make it only 2 colors and not high definition.
I think actually voice.
And
I think voice would
just
be a big
make it
deal, which is what the Kinect
all patty cake.
brings. But
And then you guys can fight out over the top, and I'll be like, it's only $10.
So would
Patty
you
cake
buy a
machine.
Jeff box or a Dan S3?
I'm probably a Dan S3 if it's more expensive and better graphics. Sorry, Jeff, he beats you with graphics.
I'm actually in favor of controller having, we talked about this, but more like an iPhone, iPad element to it in the center, whatever. So I could, or
Like the
behind
Wii U?
it. So
A
I
little
could,
bit like the
I
Wii
could
U, yeah.
control. So I don't know about this as much as having something tactile. So if I was manipulating things very quickly, easily with that could be cool.
What about that thing they made for Battlefield, the full room? Let's
Yeah.
just go with that.
That's not a console.
How do you like it now?
That's a
No,
TV
that's a
that you
console.
want to make.
No,
That's a console.
That's a console now.
Thank you @KeithKRebs.